Dean, we have an interesting world out there for when it comes to agencies and how, any kind of business is working with a marketing or advertising agency back in the day. So I'm going to take you back to 2008. It was all about Facebook and going out and selling Facebook and websites. And it was a lot more expensive to build a website and do things in some aspects then for what you were getting. Websites have gotten easy, and a lot of businesses are doing their own on Wix or GoDaddy or building them on WordPress, which is absolutely awesome. And I'm not here to sell you a website today. We do website design, but I'm not here to sell you a
Right.
website. But I want to talk about the best ways to interact with a marketing agency. No matter if you are using us as a marketing agency or if you are using a different marketing agency out there, there's some things that you should be doing for best practices to get the most out of that process and to be able to make sure that you stay up on what times are today.
Right.
So that's what I want today's conversation to be about and kind of go over. Anything you want to add before we kind of dive in?
No, let's just go for it because I have good experiences with agencies and I have bad experiences with agencies as a business owner. So let's talk about where we're at today because it's different now than it was in 2008 by a bunch. So let's
It
let's
is.
just jump in and let's and I'll interject where I can.
Well, this is where when we started this whole entire process, you were that small business guy that brought those ideas and had those, huh? What are you talking about?
Well,
Moments. So
I still have those moments.
that's why that's why I still keep you around.
I'm the old wise guy that wise cracker, I guess. But anyway,
I mean, so over my 30 years, how you changed and work with the agencies, I think this is the biggest change we've ever seen. You have to be willing to work with your agency. You have to be sending them over information by video, by chat conversations of where you've recorded of what's happening in your business, because you can't just pay somebody and have them go out and put generic information out. As the minute you have generic information going out, it's going to be just that. It's going to be generic. The
well,
spam score is going to be super high on your content. You're not going to be found. And the way you're being found inside of the world of search today is totally different. You have AI search, you have voice search, you have the combination of the two. You have, being found on maps and different search, all the search engines out there. There's so many different ways of being able to interact that it's pulling data about your business. So you have to be able to tell your story. You cannot rely on the agency to know your business the way you do.
well,
So if you don't have time for it, you have to be able to communicate and take that extra effort.
let's just use a quick example. You're my agency, okay? I'm the business
Yeah.
today. I came to Greeley, Colorado today, and I solved a problem, but you have no idea that I did it because I haven't communicated with you, and that's the biggest problem with small businesses and agencies is the
Yep.
agencies putting out the generic. They know that I travel and I'm coaching people or whatever, but they don't know what problem I just solved today, where I solved it, and what kind of business it was I solved the problem with today. Not that I'm out there, I don't travel around and do that. But so now you're today, say you got to put information out about my business today. You have no idea that I did something unique and different that's going to make me stand out in the process. So that's what we talk about. Talking to your agency, giving them information, because without that, the agency's not as effective.
Well, in the agency, so you could do it to where you have a weekly call in, a monthly call in, but you're going to forget a lot of those small points along the way. And to be able to have those conversations, they are going to be costly. They're going to take a lot of time, and you're going to have that in there. So if you follow the whole entire piece, what I recommend for any agency that's out there or anybody working with an agency, no matter if it's us or somebody else, is I recommend doing either the video or using the AI approach to talk to it and talk about those problems and get the content. So the two ways you can do that is you start with the video piece. You record a video about each of the problems you solve. Once you get done solving that problem, you record a video, or you do it at the end of the day and talk about all the problems you solved for that day. Kind of like almost like a police log in a way of saying, hey, this is what happened today that used to get posted in the Daily Tribune way back in the day. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically going to go through and take notes on that. For one, that's going to be a good reference point for you of what is happening inside of your business. For 2, it's going to create that content. So inside of marketing, you have 3 pillars. You have content, you have authority, and you have trust. And building that content up and solving problems is going to build on all 3 of those pillars. So you start with that video, record it out, or you talk to chat and talk about the problem that you had in there by using either Grok, ChatGPT, or whatever AI assistant you have, and it'll give you a transcript from that. So once you post the video to YouTube, where you have that transcript from whatever you talk to, you now then can send that to your agency. Your agency can then create blog posts off of that. They can create social media off of that. They can create email campaigns off of that. And they can start working your marketing tree that we talk about all the time, which, I mean, is huge.
Right. And, you talked about the video, and not every business has a YouTube channel. But if you do, put it out there. Or they might be able to take that stuff and use it for reels on your social media. Who knows what? I mean, the problem is if you don't give them content or something to work with, they're not going to be effective, and you're not going to. I mean, that's the whole thing. We've had people say my agency is not working. But why is the agency not working? Well, you talk to the agency and said, well, I'm not getting any information from them.
Correct.
Well, so that's a communication. It's a two-way communication process.
Or it's not working because they're guessing at what problems you're solving.
Right. There you go. And it's no offense to the agencies. They're doing the best that they can. Because I've had agencies where they say, I need you to send in this, and you're one of them. and I understand your struggles with me as a small business. I get so busy that I'm working in the business and not on the business as much, because that's a term we use. When you're solving problems in the business, you're solving problems, but the working on the business is where you got to give that information to the agency to help them to make your business bigger and grow.
Well, I mean, those are the big pieces that are in there. So if you're not communicating with your agency, you're not communicating on the real problems you solve, and you're not providing that data, that's going to be a huge spot to be able to, where if you're not getting the results you're looking for, it's going to help fix those problems.
Right.
And I think that's the missing link for a lot of businesses, because we hear them inside of the tool functions and our agency side. We're constantly hearing people go, well, I mean, I'm not getting the results I want, but yet you tell them something they're not willing to take that extra effort to put in. So any business that's willing to put that extra effort in to be able to communicate and tell their story, they're going to get a lot further, a lot faster than someone who's doing some guessing in the background and putting out just generic stuff.
Yeah, because most agencies really they're staying on top of things. They're understanding the marketing trends that are out there. They take that pressure off of the small business. So that's what they really do well for you. If they're paying, not all of them pay attention though. We've seen that. They're still doing.
We have.
We still see the ones that say ads, and ads don't work the same, especially with the way the world is going with AI functions. But agencies need to stay on top of it. You need to make sure that your agencies are aware of some things. Like if you hear something's going on, like you watch this video and we talk about the new trends in AI, and you call your agency up and say, what's the new trends in AI? And they don't know. You need to start thinking about how good of an agency is this for you, because they're not paying attention. They're just doing the same old thing over and over and not paying attention to the new trends or the new directions that things seem to be going to.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of agencies, and this isn't all, and I mean, every agency is different, but I've seen agencies go through and they're just producing a ton of AI content that's out there and just putting stuff out like crazy. And it's all generic stuff that doesn't matter. And some of it's talking about your competitors and giving them kudos.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying attention to what's going out. And you got to stay on top of that as the business owner, or somebody in your business needs to pay attention to it.
And I know there's good agencies out there, because we have some that are clients of ours, and they keep adding to their base. And that's awesome, because they're doing the right things and they're using our listings engine to help them with the whole process. And the whole formula is successful for them. There's other ones that go, nothing's happening and we don't know why. And but you have to ask those questions to the agency, because we can't ask why it's not working for you. You have
well, Dean, it comes down to a lot of agencies want to just focus on either ads, they want to focus on social, or they want to focus on the website. They're not bringing them and connecting that together. And you got
Right.
to remember that's the canopy of your tree. And I mean, we'll link to that and put a card up here to that video if you want to be able to watch that, because that's a huge spot to be able to learn how that tree is going to work. We'll also do the same thing for being able to do the AI search and how that's kind of changing, so you can educate yourself on it. And I was going to go somewhere with this, and I totally forgot.
Oh, we were
No,
talking about
they're not focusing on the data side.
right.
So I mean, our listings engine goes out to over 1,000 different networks. That's going to be your very bottom of that root trunk, your website, in each of those pieces. But you have to bring it all together and connect it, because if you don't, you're only going to get kind of just generic results out there. And I think that's why a lot of businesses I talk to are having the whole entire piece of, it's kind of working, but I think it could be doing better than where I am today.
Right. And I've seen agencies that specialize in Facebook and LinkedIn and those things, and they do really well at that. They don't pay any attention to the other part of it. And
Correct.
but they're still not dry. You know, they're getting you a lot of likes, but they're not getting you sales because they're not connecting everything together. I mean, I like the likes, but then an interaction, but it's part of the touches that have to happen. But the whole thing has to blend together. That whole,
It does.
nutrients from the roots up to the trunk to the canopy, sunlight from the canopy, which is the feedback from the customers through the trunk back down to the roots. I mean, and I'm going to our tree analogy, but because it's a good way to understand and to make sure that the agency is following those guidelines.
Yep. So if you're looking to be able to work with your agency, or you're looking at hiring an agency, and by the way, yes, we have an agency side of us as well.
Right.
Plus, we have tools. If you're doing it on your own, we can coach you and help you be able to get through all the noise that's out there. That's what simplybefound.com is all about.
And
So if you're looking to grow your business, wanting to be able to figure out, what you could be doing different or where you are today, come chat with us. Dean and I handle 100% of the chat inside of our website. We'd love to chat with you and answer any questions you have and see if we're a good fit. We know we're not the best fit for everybody, but we're a fit for 90% of the people out there. So at least I like to think we are. I'm the best of the best.
Well, we get small. We get business. We've owned businesses. We get businesses.
Well,
we've seen it, So.
Well, we started off as just tool sets focused on small business. Well, we got kind of shoved into the enterprise world because enterprise is like, well, shit, you made this really easy. Let's go ahead and let's do it.
Right.
But I mean, it's been a kind of an interesting world when it comes to that. We didn't want to do the agency side, but we ended up being like, well, we have the team, we have all the resources, we have everything here. And that's why we started our agency for Simply Be Found as well, because we can do all that. You just have to ask us for a quote. We can do it. We were getting asked for it all the time. And I mean, I don't want to say we're the best of the best on that. I think our tools are better than that and getting some of it sometimes. But if whatever you're looking for, let us know, and we'd love to be able to answer any questions. If you are an agency and you want to learn about that side, watch out for our videos. I'll have a couple training videos coming out. Just chat with me, and if you don't see them, and I'll guide you to where those are when those get published. But we can help you be able to grow your agency and work with your clients on a better aspect as far as those pieces go too, and how to get those videos in and what that process looks like. Yep. But if you're a business, you make sure you're telling your story, or else you're going to be left behind.
Right. No matter how you're doing it, tell the story.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, my name is Rob. I'm one of the co-founders here at Simply Be Found.
And I'm the other guy, not his dad. And I'm Dean.
Awesome. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.